Oh, sun's behind me. Brightness. It's a beautiful day out here on the ranch. So let's take a look at that hinge. Diagnose it. What I did wrong. And what I did right. Because I did do some stuff pretty okay. Say hello to the sheep. Look at them coming. Like, this guy must have food. That right there is Ruby. She likes to be petted. She comes right up to you, but she's the only one. All the rest of them, no. And if you're ever raising sheep, again, these are Barbados black belly sheep, okay? If you're ever raising sheep or goats or whatever, don't ever get friendly with the rams, because you never know when they're going to butt you because they want to play or something like that, or because they want to ram you, you know what I mean? But the girls, you can get friendly with them if you want. Rubes. You know why she's named Ruby? Because my mom's named Ruby. Hey, how you doing? My mom's named Ruby, and she was born on my mom's birthday. So anyways, that's enough of that. Here we go with this stump. All right, now I couldn't tell it in the moment. But watching it on video, I can see it so much more clearly now. So what I had done was I set up my wedge right here, and I was so proud that I came up, boom, and it perfectly came out. I was so happy. There it is down there on the ground. I thought I did so well, but this is the main source of my problem. My top cut of the wedge, or the notch, or whatever you want to call it, right? I kept going and I went all the way back to there. So then whenever I came back and I went like this, I should have saw that this is called a Dutchman. That flat spot right there from your top cut of your notch. Most of the time, like if people like a Dutchman, I think they usually do it like that big or something like that. That's if they like a Dutchman. I don't know. Some people do, some people don't. I don't know enough about it to give any real knowledge here, guys. But if they do, they're going to leave a little one like this. But look how big that is. It's huge. That's way too much. That's a big problem. I should have cut this out, went over, looked at the other side, and saw that I didn't go nearly far enough, and then came back and got a deeper cut so that I could come all the way back to here so that I didn't have that Dutchman. Because what happened, also, somebody pointed out I put too much pressure on the jack. I did. That's why it fell early, I think. I had too much pressure on the jack. But my plan was to put some wedges in behind my bar, but this tree's not big enough. It was practice, guys. This tree's not big enough to have required that jack. I just was wanting to try it, okay, and practice. Because I do have, it's that pine right there, all right? I will be taking that one down to make some lumber. And that one is big. It's big. So it's about 26 inches at the stump, or not at the stump where I would cut it. At the stump, shoot, it's probably 34 inches or something. So anyways, and it is leaning. You see it's leaning to the left. So I am definitely going to have to jack it over this way. I might be able to wedge it, but I don't want to take that chance. I don't know. Let me know what you think. It's a big tree. It's a big tree. It's bigger than it looks on camera here. It's big. Maybe it's 36 inches at the stump, you know, but I'm definitely going to probably use my 32-inch bar to cut it. So anyways, back to this. So when I'm coming here, because I had too much pressure on my jack, then it was pushing the tree over too early, right? And so it wanted to fall too early, and it was doing it with way too much hinge wood. Now, I was scared, and if it wouldn't have been a big deal, if I was, more experienced, I would have been like zip, 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 no problem, and it probably just would have fell right on over without issue. It may have lifted off because of this Dutchman or something like that a little bit, but what ended up happening was it started going and I got scared and I stopped right there. Right? Whenever I did, the tree's going, boom, and then it closes the gap that I had cut right here, and once it does that, it's just sitting on the Dutchman. It's just sitting there, just sitting there. And that's why these fibers look the way they do. They actually had to pull out of the core of the tree, just the way it was. So, there we go. Could I have done better? Sure, absolutely I could have done better. With about 1,000 more trees of practice. A lot of you guys are really supportive and great, so don't mistake this. But you know, whenever somebody comes on the channel, nobody's really been a jackass. No. But a lot of people can't understand how I don't know how to fell a tree very well. They just don't get it. A lot of people have thought that I have made these screw-ups on purpose. And I can understand that thought process. But I most definitely do not do this on purpose. I am learning and trying to get better. But that really throws people for a loop. They don't understand how I can know what I know about chainsaws and not be able to fail like a professional. Well, if you remember, this is for pros out there. And I'm not talking about the person who's on a tree service truck that goes out and does work. They're been doing it for 6 weeks, you know, and they think, oh, I'm a pro. You're not a pro yet. Probably won't be a pro until you do it for 3 or 4 years, okay? I'm not knocking you, not at all, you know, but I've seen that a lot, you know. You get residential tree service guys, and because they managed to get somebody to pay them to do tree work, they consider themselves professionals. No. You just got somebody to pay you. The pros can see this stuff, man. Like, I mean, they're amazing. Just amazing. You know, August Hunneke, Buck and Billy Ray, heck, even Guilty of Treason, you know. He'll admit that he's not a very good faller, you know, and he's like 100 times better than me. So, I guess what I'm getting at is a lot of the professionals that have been doing this for a while, but not quite long enough to get seasoned and understand, tend to wonder what the heck's going on in my head and why I can't figure it out. Listen, man, the amount of times that I have fell a tree in my life, and I'm talking about a tree, not a sapling, I've probably done it about 100 times. And probably 95 of those trees have been less than 12 inches in diameter at the base. You know, we're about like that. Those are easy. Whenever you can see the other side, it's easy. Whenever you can fell that from one side using a 20-inch bar, that is a small tree. And it's easy to get right. And so I have done what to me was a lot. Let's say 100 trees. And I managed to get them all right. You know what I mean? I'm like, I'm good. I'm a good feller, right? You get on these bigger trees and they have a little bit of different lean to them, or they have a crown that just has an extra branch out here. You got to take into account all that stuff. and I'm still a complete greenhorn rookie when it comes to felling trees. So it just is what it is, you know. And another thing that really gets overlooked is most of the people that have learned this, that are actually pros, they learned with another pro right there beside them, guiding them through, which is the way it should be. It's fantastic. It's fantastic. I wish I had that, you know. But they have that day in, day out for weeks, months, years. And they go, what, man, it always came natural to me. Bullshit, it never came natural to you. You may have been better at it than Chuck or Bob, right? But it never came natural to you. You had to learn how to do this, and you probably had a wise old timer right there at your shoulder, guiding your hand. And young people do that a lot. People in general do that. They overlook the guidance that was given to them. They think that, oh, I got all this because I'm just great. BS. Nobody makes it to greatness on their own. It takes a slew of individuals to do it. And so I kind of feel like what's happening when a lot of people can't understand the plight that I am in learning how to fell a tree, and they think that it all just came natural to them, they are discrediting the amount of guidance that was given to them by peers and a support system. I don't have any of that. And I get a lot of times, hey, you should watch, this was always really funny to me, you should watch Buck and Billy Ray. He's got a lot of great felling videos. I have watched hundreds of felling videos, possibly thousands. I have watched so many videos on how to fell a tree. There is nothing that can prepare you for felling big trees besides felling big trees. I've heard Dutchman. Randy showed me, my buddy Randy, who runs a forestry service, whatever, blah, 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 blah. Randy, I was like, what the hell is Dutchman? Because he was talking about, he says he likes a Dutchman. I don't know. I don't know what that even means. I don't know why somebody would or wouldn't. Okay, I do know that they're used to steer the tree one way or the other sometimes. I know that much, right? But I was like, what is a Dutchman? And it was so funny because Randy, he didn't light up or anything, but he immediately hopped to and was like, here's a lesson I can teach you, buddy. And I was like, all right, great. And he grabbed the saw real quick and he went over to the stump and he said, blah, 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 blah. And he's showing me and I'm like, oh, okay. And so he told it all to me. I mean, the first time I encounter a Dutchman, after Randy teaches me that one short, quick little lesson that probably took a minute and a half, right? The next time I encounter a Dutchman, 10 months later. You can't expect it to stick whenever it's that inconsistent. So, this is why I have such a difficult time learning, is because I might fell a tree once a year, twice a year, maybe. That's a busy year, twice a year. Most of the time they fall on their own, or they're little trees that, they're little trees. They're great to practice on, but whenever you can fell a tree with a 4310, 43 cc saw, that isn't worthy of bringing up as felling a tree, in my opinion. So, but anyways, rambled. But hopefully this will explain to some of y'all why I have a difficult time felling a tree. experience is needed. And I only get the experience of felling a tree maybe twice a year. So, anyways, later.